Well, hello! Hey!
How's everybody doing?
How is everybody? Oh, we've got a new little picture here. Yeah, we're representing the world here, and we've got a little screen here with nothing to show in the screen, I don't think. Do we have anything in the screen, Jacob?
No, I thought it would zoom into y'all and not the screen.
Ooh, put something in the screen, Jacob.
Okay, I'm gonna find something.
Please mute your TV when calling in, apparently. That's what directions say. Because, we get a little feedback noise. But this is Higher Thought, live on March 29th. It's your boy, Nate, and we've got a new special guest here this week. Will, welcome to the show, man.
It's good to be here.
Do you have, any other name you'd like to use, for television? Just, I don't know, be discreet and
they call me
not use your...
Will the Thrill.
Will the Thrill.
Will
okay.
the Thrill.
Okay, Will the Thrill.
The Thrill.
Yeah, so if you want to call in, we're the realest fake news here in Acadiana. Or the fakest real news, however you want to view it. And I guess you want to go ahead and put in that TVMA. Parental discretion is advised on this show. Sometimes. It can be.
Occasionally.
We can get dangerous. Yeah. So what's going on, Will? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Acclimate to the audience here.
Acclimate the audience. Huh. I don't know where to start. I like life. And I just got a text message.
I just got a text message. Well, we check our text sometimes on here. It is AOC, sometimes
it's permissible.
It's permissible, right. Sometimes, it slips out,
I don't like to drink.
Not a big drinker? Sometimes.
But I can drink. I don't drink anymore, but I'll drink.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting away from the alcohol as well.
That's a good thing, man.
It's
nothing but a poison.
It pretty much is. Why would you say that?
Kills your body from the inside out.
Well, also, you could argue that orange soda does that as well.
It does. It also preserves it. So it's like it preserves you in a state of, what would you call it? Disarray.
What, alcohol?
Alcohol, definitely. Like it was used as a preservative a long time ago.
Well, they call them spirits for a reason because it kind of messes with your spirit to a certain degree.
Well, my theory on all spirits and substances is that people talk about possession of entities and how you can channel certain spirits. I believe all it is just being subjected to certain substances, and your consciousness is altered through certain means, certain chemical reactions, and it's really weird shit. But it's interesting.
It's really weird stuff.
I apologize.
It's okay. It happens on
Discretion
AOC.
advised.
Discretion is advised. And there seems to be a consciousness shift, I guess, among humanity, or a lot of people are talking about that, I guess, nowadays.
Maybe
people are waking up to what's going on, and maybe it's due to the digital internet, access of information.
Definitely. There's a lot more widespread information that's just kind of available, and also
Thank you, Jacob.
A lot of things can't be truly hidden, even though certain establishments and institutions would like for them to remain hidden. They can't. Eventually they'll pop up somewhere else. So advice to anyone who really wants to know what's up, you got to do your own research. And you're going to hear people say that a lot. Do your research, look into it. Because when you try to explain it to someone, it's so vast on the spectrum that you end up sounding like an insane person. You cannot avoid it, so you just got to
Well, surely, and it seems as though more and more, people used to get their information from books and, newspapers. And newspapers used to report different information. But now, since, a lot of these major media corporations have kind of become conglomerated, the information seems to be more of the same and more lies. Whereas, you have to go search for the truth.
All right.
And not a lot of people have that nowadays. Which one of the things I was actually let's see, they did a research study. NASA actually did a research study that we're born creative geniuses, and the education system dumbs us down. Exactly. How about that?
Because think about it, All right, not to divert, but in your mind, what would be the perfect slave?
The perfect slave?
Perfect slave. Who would be the perfect slave to you?
Well, I mean, I could say maybe the perfect worker, even in general.
Well, yeah, to you.
I mean, somebody that takes direction well and learns fast and, does the job good.
But truly, the perfect slave is someone who doesn't know they're a slave. So
Oh,
once you
well,
admit to
I
your
get where
s-
you're going at here is that, we've been enslaved,
until you
psychologically, if you
admit
will.
to yourself. It's a lot like the addiction process.
Mhm.
If you don't admit to yourself that you're an addict, then you can never truly get better. Now it's the same situation with slavery. If you don't admit to yourself that you're a slave, then there's no chance that you can break your chains.
Well, sure, and we're running the rat race, and it's all kind of financial based.
Very political.
With the banks and the corporations kind of running everything. And, that's kind of the overall theme of some of the topics I have today. But, getting back to that study, NASA saying that we're creative geniuses, they tested 1,600 4 to 5 years old, 4 to 5 year olds, and based on just kind of imagination, they had a 8% genius level of the 4 and 5 year olds. So they decided to make it a longitudinal study, and then at 10 years old, only 30% of them were. And then at 15 years old, only 12% of them were. And then as adults, when they test them when they're 20, it was only 2%. So,
It's not surprising.
It's just your imagination is kind of taken away from you, and you have to
give
learn
it
this
away.
prescribed set of information, and ultimately, just kind of turn people into sheeple.
It's almost like a false ego that's pressed onto you.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
It is.
Someone.
It's a good analogy.
The way I'm guessing is someone sat down and was like, okay, well, this is how I want all these people to be, and I'm gonna make them that way.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's kind of driving the thought of people, and I mean, and we see that a lot in how we're divided as a country, I mean, you're either Republican or Democrat, liberal, conservative, different ethnicity, different gender, different sexualities, gun control versus, Second Amendment, and it's just, we're divided in every which way possible.
I think it's all just a distraction, man.
Oh, of course. What are
It's
they
just a
distracting
distraction.
us from?
That's the real question. That's what everybody really wants to know, but I think some people are either too lazy or they're too chicken to find out.
Well, it just almost kind of seems like a big money grab, and just almost as if they know something bad is about to happen to us, maybe some kind of planetary disaster, whether it be a meteor coming or aliens coming or whatever it is.
In the next, let's see, what years? is
Some
this?
kind of
2000?
secret.
In the next, maybe it's a 12 to 1300 years, we're going to experience a polar shift, and there's going to be complete natural disasters. It's happened many, many times. It's just
Right.
it's like a recycling.
Stephen Hawking was even saying we're going to be a fireball or something like that by 2600.
Maybe so.
So, I mean, who's to say? But, a lot of these, I guess, since the internet has come out, a lot of, the information has been kind of diluted somewhat. There's so much information out there. The news is kind of giving you their prescribed rhetoric, I guess. Just kind of what the writers are, it's the, I guess, overall storyline for the political theater we see in our politics.
Right.
And we're even seeing that, I don't know if you noticed, you said you don't really do too much TV, but you remember the Roseanne show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. How can you forget that?
How can you forget the Roseanne
That-
show?
that
Well,
would
they
come
actually
on.
have a new Roseanne show. It's all the old cast, but it's new episodes. And they had their first episode this week, and the ratings did really well, but apparently it was very political. And Roseanne's a big Trump supporter in the show, but she argues, I guess, with her sister Jackie about
That's an interesting thing that they would bring back an old show just to, I guess, kind of play
just
on,
to bash Trump.
Not just to bash Trump, but to play on some nostalgia. Just the kind of same thing with Full House. They made Fuller House.
Fuller
I feel like
House, right? Yeah.
Anytime they reprise a movie or they remake it or a show or anything, that's just them
They
trying
did the
to
same
tack
thing with Will
on.
and Grace too.
Yeah, they're just trying to tack on information that they didn't give to the people. anytime they do something, they have to let you know what they're going to do before they do it. That's the rules. That's the rules of the universe. And if they don't abide by it, then, well, kind of things just sort of crumble. But they have to let you know for their illusion to keep up.
Well, and apparently Trump liked the show. He liked the ratings, and he liked that Roseanne supported him in the show, even though she doesn't in real life. Obviously, they have kind of a feud somewhat between them, I think.
Trump's an opportunist, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Complete opportunist.
Any media, whether it's negative or not, is good media.
No, I'm not going to lie. I've been watching his behaviors and everything for the last few years, and not just with the political things, but he's a highly intelligent individual that hides certain aspects of himself just for power plays. He's in real estate, man.
Yeah.
Real estate. That's well,
he's a businessman.
I don't want to say it's dirty money, but real estate can get pretty dirty. Like what's it called? Whenever you pay people to stay in an area and lower the property value.
Right.
What's that called? I can't remember.
Price fixing, maybe?
Maybe so. But I don't think that's the exact word. But yeah, it's like
But when you think about it, though, has there ever been this much negative media propaganda toward one kind of president, just to kind of divide the Democrats and Republicans and liberals and conservatives even more?
Directed at one?
Yeah,
Maybe
not. Do you ever think, there's been negative media on presidents, but the office has always been respected. But I think Trump has made a mockery of the office, in that he's not elegant at all. And, he acts like a kindergartner sometimes with his tweets.
He's the 45th president, right?
Yeah. Obama was 44, so.
That's like a big number.
Well, we got Mr. Numerology
Oh.
here, so he can get into the numbers. I was just looking at my birth number earlier today,
Yeah.
and I was like, when I typed in numerology, because I figured you'd be on the show, so I think I was a 7, and
Numbers get weird, man.
yeah. Oh, well, if you ever get into analyzing numbers and the meaning of numbers, this is a good guy to talk to.
Patterns as well. It's not just
because that's what
certain
everything
numbers.
is.
Yeah, think about it. There was no math, then there would be no phone, no TV, no higher thought show. There would be no higher thought. There might be thought.
All we are is a bunch of matrix numbers just flowing.
Exactly.
Here,
Just like something that kind of like a vortex.
And those are all numbers.
Exactly. That's
right
all
there
calculated.
between. Well, yeah, I guess there's just kind of a whole takeover of, the internet, and, really it's even kind of affecting a lot of the stores that are, like, going out of business. Like we saw recently, Toys R Us went out of business.
Oh, yeah.
So, a little question I have here are, what are the biggest industries that you think are threatened by internet and big stores, kind of like Amazon, Walmart, which Walmart's doing a lot of online stuff now?
Biggest industries threatened by internet?
Sure.
Let's see.
Well,
You have warehouses that sell a lot of overstock stuff that hasn't already been transferred to the internet, and video porn.
Well, that's true. Porn, definitely. Why go pay for it why go pay for it when it's free on the internet?
Exactly. That's probably not a good thing that porn's free. People just.
Well, to a certain degree, it's led to society being hypersexualized
and desensitized to sexualization.
Without a doubt. And
other countries, you go and it's so.
Well, and you think about the book industry. People used to bookstores pretty much have been put out. Like even the big bookstores.
I love books. I collect as many books. Hey, you have any books?
You're a dying breed because a lot of the book lovers, they just read it on their Kindle or.
To me, that's weird because scrolling. I don't know. I guess when you have a book, it's easier to bond with an idea than it is in just something that can. Oh, well, if I need it, then it's right here. All I gotta do is keep my phone.
I just think it's I think it's a dying idea. Is what I'm getting to.
Definitely.
Like in today's generation, they don't read the books as much as they flip, scroll the phone or the pad.
What I like about books is that if I need to make a note of something, just write it in the book. if I need to draw something or write anything, I'll just write it in the book. Like, it's pointless if you to try and actually learn something over the phone.
Well, even writers, are having to acclimating to typing as opposed to writing in the book.
Right, and I actually don't like to write. I prefer to write on.
I prefer a book, like writing in like a.
I don't like
a
typing.
pad.
Yeah, I prefer to write because it's.
Well, and then I could put the finished product if I have to type it, on there. But I'd prefer to write it on like a page first.
And then also like most of the time, my brain works a lot faster than I can type or anything.
Right.
So I'll be 4 or 5 sentences ahead and just.
Because I can't type without
Stuck.
thinking of
But I
like
can
what
write.
letter is located where. And it ends up I don't want to type forever. So, let's see.
What we got on the docket?
What else is on the docket here? Oh yeah, well, talking about all other industries, we got the books. What about the record industry and the music industry?
Record industry. Well, that's a whole different monster right
Well, and
there.
that started even way back with Napster, because before that,
Want to go Napster or even way further back?
well, as far as internet,
Oh, internet,
music,
Napster, LimeWire, stuff like that.
Oh, well, of course, So, but before that, people would buy CDs. They would buy
CDs and cassettes,
cassettes, records, whatever.
I miss that because, all right, a lot of artists, and I'm not counting anyone who's on the radio right now because don't think you're artists. Like, if you're watching this, know that you're not an artist. You're just a puppet. But anyway, all these old artists that actually put their time and effort into music, the albums were meant to be listened to
Well, yeah.
fully, completely in order because it tells a story. Nowadays, it's just a bunch of jumbled mess.
Well, it's a bunch of singles,
Exactly.
and everything's pop. So, I mean, not everything
They're just trying
is.
to get everybody on sex and selling drugs and
At least in pop music, and I think, you have to search. I mean, the music is there. The good music is there. You just have to search for it. And you have more means to be able to search for good music nowadays. It's just, there's a wide array of music. It's a whole universe of music out there on the internet, and it's like hard to find bands.
and there's so many things you can listen to nowadays. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there are tons and tons of good artists out there.
And we all have our guilty pleasures in music, where you'll like some of the junk that's out there, so to speak.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a
the
while.
Junk, like, let's see. I can't even come up with anything. It would more have to be someone asking me, "Do you like such and such?" And I'm like,
Here's an example. Young Dumb, Young
"Oh
Dumb
no,
and
I don't. I didn't
Broke.
like that song
I don't know.
when
I
it came
mean,
out.
like,
It is catchy and
it's
like,
catchy
It's like,
and-
it
And
just reminds me of myself.
the Broccoli song, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
You ever
guilty
heard the one,
pleasures. It's just
like,
pretty bad.
I like to cha-cha. Hey.
Oh,
You know that one?
Yeah,
That's
I
the guy
believe I
that
know what
did
you're talking
Broccoli,
about.
but nobody knows that first song because
Let's see. How about there's been a lot of talk lately about Facebook giving out your data and data. You've got bunches of data
dude,
right
this
there.
is all just stuff that I write on my phone. It's like personally, I don't believe in non-existence. Only existence and existence somewhere else. The only possible instance of non-existence is the concept itself, thereby rendering it so by default. That might take a moment to say. Y'all might have to
Deep
go rewind
thoughts.
that. Higher thought.
Higher thoughts, indeed.
Just random nonsense. Pain is a drug we most often indulge in, but we fear it because it is so foreign. And that's completely true. Like, you ever just sit through a burn? You get an adrenaline rush. It's interesting, but it's scary. I don't know. I might just be rambling. Next subject.
Well, I mean, either way, Google has access to your notes
Yeah, they've been watching
and
me.
all of your data. Google
watch
collects your
everybody.
data, basically your ad profile. They have an ad profile on you. It has your location, gender, age, hobbies, career, interest, relationship, weight, income, political affiliation, religion, your mental health, every message you send, everything you search for, every site you go
What's
to.
good? Because I have none of those.
And even when you delete stuff, it still stores your
Of course.
information. So, and Facebook's kind of been doing the same thing. A lot of people have been deleting their Facebook app.
All I have is Instagram. Mostly because that's my portfolio. Check me out.
Oh, well, you want to give a plug to your Instagram?
Oh, it's difficult.
You got to spell it out
I gotta
for 'em.
spell it out for you. Just hold up. Hold up a second.
All right.
You got a piece of paper?
I do.
Write this down. I don't even remember my name. It's 37 GHVST MVZE 73. It's Ghost Maze, but with V's instead of. That's also heavily symbolic, but I don't want to get into that. That's a G.
That's a G. Okay, so 37 GH
Can we make a banner? No.
UST
GHVST
VST
MVZE.
MVZUE. Okay.
This is just a maze of ghosts. That's all Earth is. We keep well, one thing that I've just kind of been told lately by the universe or by myself is that like every time we come here and we have children and we die, we live another life through our children, because that's our blood, that's us, that's 100% you, even though it's not a full 100%. It's 100% in spirit.
Mhm.
Now, people like to argue about souls and energy, and I don't really know too much about that. I probably do, but I don't like to speak about it because it's pointless. But every time you have kids, you just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. And it's your choice to keep coming back. Now, Earth was originally set up as like a rehabilitation center. What have you, like a prison system. Prison way back was originally for rehabilitation. You go sit your time. If your crime was not like a punishable by death one, then they release you whenever your time is up. But if you do something worthy of death, well then they just kill you. They don't make you sit a whole life sentence and then kill you. But everything, what I'm getting at is everything's been institutionalized from original healing, like school, hospitals, prisons, and the entire structure of Earth. It's like a school, but it's been confused. It looks like I keep reading off of cue cards, but I'm not.
Well, there are cue cards in your brain.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess there are these societal structures that we tend to follow, and you know, through our health system, our education system, political system, religious system, you know, all of those seem to be created in order to control the humankind, and you know, certain people are privy to higher information than others. You know, but here on Higher Thought, we have an insight to all that higher information, so we try to, you know, sprinkle it out to you in little doses there, Katie Anna.
Just little microdoses.
Little microdoses. So how about this? A guy bought a wrecked Domino's car, you know, the ones
Yeah,
with like
I've
the
been seeing
ovens?
that. That's
And
crazy.
He
There
got it
must
for
be some-
$500, but now he has to sell it, or he has to pay, or he's gonna get sued by Domino's for trademark infringement.
I don't want to speculate, but I feel like there's something to the cars. There's something other than what they're saying is to the cars. Otherwise, they would not be throwing these ridiculous offers at this man and like threatening with lawsuits and certain things that they probably could get away with, but it would be just a show for nothing. So
Well, I
pay
mean,
attention.
Maybe if he like removes the dominoes from the car, you know, like why can't he have a car with an oven? But I think they did
I
patent
feel
that
like there's-
idea.
Oh, maybe so. I mean, it can hold like 80 pizzas. Like I don't eat Domino's. I don't eat anything that's advertised. I don't mess with because it's already.
What do you eat? 'Cause everything's advertised.
I eat food. I eat vegetables. Like
Well,
exactly.
vegetables,
But
right?
things that are like really really big advertised. Just things that are
So you don't
inherent.
ever eat out?
Not often. If I do, it's like mom and pop stores.
Oh, are we getting a call here? I saw a little blink here. Yeah, a caller. How about that? Hello, you're live on Higher Thought. What's going on?
You don't know who this is?
I know who it is. I was just, you know, being
Who
cordial.
that is?
What up, Corey?
It's Corey.
What's happening, Corey? How you doing today?
What's the deal?
What is the deal, yo?
That's me chilling.
Well, Corey, usually when you call in, you like talking sports and wrestling and
That's what I call you for.
yeah. So you're gonna be watching WrestleMania next week
I sure will.
from the Superdome, or are you gonna watch it on TV?
No, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna watch it on TV.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, it is right on down the road over in New Orleans at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But
Ooh, I can't wait.
yeah, I mean, like I feel you as far as that. Like the pre-show for WrestleMania starts at 4 o'clock, and the last couple years it hasn't ended till 10:30, 11 o'clock.
That's,
So being in the Superdome for like 7 hours, I mean,
I'd probably get bored. I'd probably end up
well, yeah, and you'd probably end up drinking yourself into
Exactly.
oblivion, and like the mixed
Going
drinks
broke.
are, like $15 a piece, and so
You going out there?
probably not this time. But I definitely will be watching it, and it's kind of an
What's your
event.
picks?
What's that?
What's your picks?
Some picks. Oh man, I don't have the match card here in front of me. I guess some of the big matches they've been announcing.
Well, I got one pick for you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I got Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle winning.
You think that they're gonna win against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, huh?
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey. Well, I would imagine that's probably a wise bet, and that they'd want her to win her first match, unless maybe Triple H pins Kurt Angle.
I don't think it's gonna go like that.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Is that the match you're most excited for?
I'm excited for all of it.
Yeah, it seems to be a pretty stacked card, as they say.
How many matches we talking?
Last I counted, man, it was like 14 matches, 14, 15 matches, something like that.
This year?
Yeah, I tell you what, one thing I'm looking forward to is Daniel Bryan coming back.
Yeah, me too.
And the last WrestleMania that I was in New Orleans, I was just telling Will I went to, and it was actually YesLMania, because Daniel Bryan was tearing it up. He won the championship that night.
Yeah, I remember that. Which WrestleMania that was?
That was WrestleMania 30, and I think they're on 34 this year.
34.
Yep, it's been around a long time. And
No WrestleMania trivia?
WrestleMania trivia, oh goodness. Oh man. Let's see. Who are the two people Undertaker has lost to at WrestleMania?
Let me see.
There you go.
I couldn't tell you that.
One was Brock Lesnar,
That was one of them.
and the other one was I forgot.
It was last year, Corey.
Wait, last year?
Yeah.
Who he lost?
It was his last match, actually.
That one. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Oh, come on, Corey.
I can't think of the name.
Didn't.
Roman Reigns.
Oh, there you go. Roman Reigns.
You know what? I think John Cena gonna beat him too.
Yeah?
Roman Reigns kind of looks like the new Undertaker.
Roman Reigns is the big dog, and he's the guy that
look,
WWE's
yeah.
pushing as the main face of the new
Yeah.
generation.
But you know what they trying to do?
He's kind of like the
Know what they trying
badass.
to do?
What's that, man?
They trying to put the belt on him.
On Roman Reigns? Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Because Brock Lesnar, I think, is the champ, and he's going to UFC again, I think.
But I'm looking forward to it Sunday no more.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah, man. How about the Saints? Did you see anything that they did in free agency?
Not really, but I hope we get some good draft picks.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the draft's usually, in April?
Me at the end of the year.
I think it's usually toward the end of April. So we'll see kind of what they do there, and I'm sure
I'm
we'll
looking
report
forward
it
to it.
here on the show.
I'm looking forward to that too.
And you a basketball fan, Corey?
What you talking, NBA or college?
NBA.
Both of them.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I did write one little basketball note here that Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Grant Hill all entered the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah. And those were three that I grew up watching, so.
Me too.
Excellent, excellent. Well, any other thoughts for the night, Corey, before we let you go?
Nah, I guess that's it. But like I say, Ronda Rousey and will win Sunday night.
Probably so.
Matter of fact, next Thursday, I'm going to call you and tell you about it.
Yeah, calling on, talk some WrestleMania predictions with me next week.
All right.
I'll try and maybe have the card in front of me this time.
All right, I sure will.
All right, you take it easy, Corey. Appreciate the call, man.
All right, y'all too.
All right, later. All right. Well, a little sports coverage there.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a podcast like this set up.
Yeah, well, they actually have like a studio back there to do podcasts
Really?
and stuff. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
This is we're in the poorer studio, you know, even though we got the fancy background.
Hey, I'm used to it.
I can point to where Donald Trump's at, where
everywhere.
right there, all there. So I couldn't really reach it. I could stand up, I guess. So running through, I guess, some of these other stories, wrap this up. There's evidence that humans walked on a Canadian beach 13,000 years ago. You know, and I mean, here I was thinking, you know, we were only 2,000 years old as a species because that's how when Jesus was born, right? You know, I'm just playing.
This version of us is 2,000 years old, maybe a little bit more. But there was multiple versions of humans, like multiple strands of DNA. This is just the most basic. That's why they're putting so much work into messing with our heads, because we're like the perfect slaves. There's a two-stranded DNA.
Well, I've often wondered, like, whenever like we're getting inoculations when we're born, they like pump you full of mercury. If like that metal in your brain like is a conductor for like them to be able to like brainwash you easier and change your brain patterns.
Definitely, like.
Interesting
Also,
theory.
I believe I have like mercury poisoning from when I was a little kid, not just from inoculation, but like we would play with mercury. Like somebody had mercury sitting around, and my dad would show me. He would like pour it in his hand and pick it up with a magnet. And it finally clicked the other day. Like, oh, that explains so much.
Well, and I was even reading. We've talked about it here on the show before. Bill Gates is a big proponent of all these inoculations for when you're born. However, neither of his kids had to get them. They had exemptions.
Oh, that's because he's an elitist, man.
Yeah, elitists.
You know how many,
they don't have to get these inoculations.
you know
It's
how
only
much stuff
for
Bill Gates owns. He's one of the most richest people in the world. One of the in the top 7.
Well, even from the time that we were like born and before school, like since 1980, like the amount of inoculations you have to get is tripled, in just 30 years.
I don't get any shots except for the flu shot, man.
I don't even get the flu shot. It just gives you the flu.
Yeah, man.
I'll take my chances.
I was like, I got 6 flu shots. I'm thinking that I wasn't gonna get it. I still got the flu.
Well, because the flu shot just gives you the flu. I didn't get the flu last year because I didn't get the flu shot.
I got the flu 3 or 4 times this year.
It was a bad flu season.
I don't get any shots. I don't allow someone to put anything in my body without me knowing everything that's in that needle. So there's no needles going in my body.
Speaking of which, the drug overdoses are on the rise.
That's because of fentanyl.
And the opioid crisis is getting worse.
All right. The thing about fentanyl is, like, I have a few friends that died from it.
And is that an opioid?
Oh yes, it's a synthetic opiate.
Okay.
It's
and something prescribed by a doctor?
It's prescribed. It shouldn't even be available because essentially it's rat poison. Now, I can't find anything small enough as a visual interpretation, but this little tiny piece of glitter, essentially any visible...
Something you probably can't see on the screen.
Something you probably can't see. It's a little piece of red glitter on my finger. He can see that as well,
yeah,
right?
I can see it. It's a small little micro dot.
Just about any visible amount, like 1 grain of that, of pure fentanyl, would kill you.
Wow.
That's a lethal dose.
Okay.
It's 500 times stronger than heroin. And then carfentanil, which is a sub.
And that's something that doctors prescribe.
It's what they prescribe to like people that are in heavy pain, and it's heavily addictive. You withdraw multiple times a day off of it. It's not good. And another thing about that is people don't know how to deal with their own problems by, I don't want to say like talking to yourself, but it's working things out with your own mind. It's not just so simple as you can go to a doctor and get a handful of pills and fix all your problems. That's medication. That's not.
Well, and get this, there's been so much, gun control debates. Since 1966, there's only been 1,077 people die from mass shooting deaths. Since 1999, there's been over 200,000 overdose deaths. So, I mean, why aren't we, campaigning against Big Pharma and, them pretty much killing a bunch of people?
I think
because they're killing, your doctors are killing more people than guns are.
Well, the thing about a doctor is he's not really a doctor. He doesn't practice medicine. Doctors nowadays are
salespeople for Big Pharma.
It's what they considered in the old days a poisoner or like an apothecary.
Right.
They deal in drugs. They don't deal in medicine. Medicine
Or
in
treatment.
the true sense
Right.
is healing for your body. And healing can come from many different things. It can come from plants. It can come from food. It can come from just you having a better mindset, like a positive mindset.
Well, and of course the media doesn't report this, but they had 50 of the top Eastern medicine scientists get murdered in the last few years,
Yeah.
or mysteriously die.
That's why we got to do our job, man.
So
Everybody's got a job, so you got to do yours. Just
well,
like I
and
gotta do mine.
to a certain degree, I feel as though higher thought is kind of part of my job. To bring some awareness. As few as people we get access to, I suppose. We have access to 1 million viewers. Hello. Oh, there you go. We can call
Should I
them
answer?
back. No, I mean if you want to, tell them they're on TV.
Like, hello?
You might want to put it on speakerphone, maybe.
Oh, hey, Nana.
What you doing, boo?
I'm on TV.
Oh, yeah, what you doing?
A show. It's called Higher Thought.
Oh, okay. You need a vote?
I mean,
You're the 7th caller, and you just want a trip to Guam. I don't know.
you just want a trip to Guam now?
That's where? Right? Oh wait, right?
No, it's Southeast Asia, so it'll be a little more this way.
Way that way.
What's
Call
up?
me later?
Yeah, I can call you later.
Okay, my love.
All right, bye. Love you.
Love you, bye.
Yeah, we've talked about pollution, a lot of pollution in the ocean. How about all the pollution in space? More than 14,000 hunks of space junk floating around the Earth.
All right.
Yeah, and I'd say probably America's one of the top polluters. Let's see.
America, I feel, is pollution in itself. The entire system. This was a stolen nation.
You could definitely argue that.
It just about any. All right. Any of the most thriving civilizations, the land, the concept, the religion, the societal structure, it was stolen from another group and just changed a little bit, just to control people. America in itself, people think that
Well, it's the ultimate consumerist, corporate country, and I think it was planned that way.
All right, America. Do you know why America's named America?
Amerigo Vespucci.
Yes, that's what everyone's taught. This show is about what they don't teach you in school. What America really means comes from the word Amaruca, which means land of the serpent. This is the land of Lucifer.
Can you argue it?
Can I argue it?
Well, I don't think
I don't
anybody
need
can.
to argue it. I mean,
Well, of course. And I mean, you wonder why other countries maybe hate us. All we do is invade the country, drone strike their women and children, steal their resources, install puppet dictators, create a central bank, and then call them terrorists if they resist.
it sounds like terrorism.
Well, I guess to some of those people over there, the terrorists wear suit and ties.
Still a terrorist. A terrorist is anyone who uses anything at their disposal to control another person.
Well, and I always get a kick at it, when we, complain about the Russia meddling in our elections and stuff. We've been meddling
Russia's
in
a
other
part of it.
people's We've been, yeah, of course.
Any
It's two
country-
sides of the same coin, like Democrat and Republican.
Any country with a consolidated government and a bank and like a system with people and jobs is part of it.
But they don't run this. They actually got rid of their Rothschild central run bank.
Who?
Russia.
That's good.
Yeah. Putin wasn't having it. Let's see. Anything else that I got here? Oh, many districts across the country are going towards a 4-day work week for school. So basically, they're going to have Tuesday through Friday for school, and maybe go an extra hour a day. You know, or have an extra class.
What is that again?
They're doing that like in Denver, but they're changing school towards 4 days a week. I think they're doing it in Oklahoma, and I'd be for that. You know, why not?
I mean,
Go an extra hour a day, do 4 days a week, and have 3-day weekends.
I like to keep busy, but I'm against school as like an institution. I do like not education. I almost slipped. Don't. But
a lot of it's even going to privatized education. It seems more
Right.
like nowadays.
if
the
I
charter
had the choice,
schools.
I would like homeschool my children, but teach them.
But we're slaves to the system, as you mentioned, and we got to go work during the day. So it's like we can't be there during the day.
Right, you
We
gotta do
need
that
that
part.
state-run babysitter.
All right. Programming, like the way they program you. Okay, normal work day is how many hours? 8 hours. How many hours you stay in school? Between 7 and 8 hours.
That's programming.
All right. Now also.
All we are is just another brick in the wall.
Definitely. We need some music in here. But
Exactly.
also, prison system. School. It's just like school. If you like actually see the inside of a jail, it's nothing more than an adult daycare center. So from the age of nothing, from the age of cells, they've been programming you to be in jail.
Surely.
That means the whole system is a
Especially
prison.
certain groups, you know, ethnicity, poor people, you know,
Exactly.
socioeconomic status,
People with more
certain
impulsive.
ethnicities, yes, they're trying to condition you to go to prison.
They play on everything. Any way they can get you, they're gonna try, and don't try and not do that.
And those like little adjustment centers or detention centers or whatever the kids go to, the
That's a
police
joke.
monitor that, and that's their future clientele,
Right.
you know. So
I got friends that
big
know
business.
judges by first name. It's like, you in here again? It's funny because, well, it's not funny. It's only like funny. I don't know.
yeah. I started a little prison rap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
But it's not prison rap.
Well, it's short.
It's freedom rap.
Freedom rap. Oh, well, nothing like good old freedom white boy rap.
I guess so.
Let's see.
Spit it out.
How about Easter? Yeah, how about Easter's roots in paganism? It's based on moon processions.
It is.
Well, and then this weekend is the blue moon. Not like the bar here in Lafayette.
Or the beer, which is disgusting.
All right. Oh, wait. Is it well.
Maybe if they're like hot, like I can drink a hot blue
a
moon.
hot
if it's,
blue moon.
I can
yeah.
I can drink hot beer like a champ, but a
Blech.
cold blue moon just makes me sick. I will not drink a blue moon unless it's hot, and no bar keeps blue moon hot, so I just don't.
Well, and a lot of it seems like our holidays deal with pagan dates. You know, I mean, like even on December 22nd, the sun dies on the Crux constellation, meaning it's like the shortest day of the year, and then it's basically the sun rises on December 25th, and that's why they celebrate Jesus' birthday on that day.
All right, I have a question, and this is homework for all of you that's on the camera, because I just get too distracted to figure it out. Not on the camera, on the TV. But based from the Mayan calendars, how the world was supposed to end in the year 2012.
Well, the end of that era,
Well,
I think, is
Yeah, but also look at whenever they put the Gregorian calendar in place, and all these days jumping back and forth, and you got leap year, and eventually all those days add up. So the homework is, how long do you think it'll be before it's the actual 2012, or what year do you think we're actually in? based on the old calendars.
Hmm.
You know,
What year do you think we're in?
I haven't actually, like, every time I go to do it, I get distracted with other numbers.
With other numbers.
With other numbers,
Your
spirals.
ADD for numbers. Let's see, what else? But yeah, happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Those eggs and the bunnies are all,
Like you ever-
fertilization things.
local music. Acid Bath. That was one of their
Acid bath, yeah.
one of their album covers. It was called Pagan Terrorism Tactics,
And it had like a bunny with a cross.
and like with the marionette strings, which is pretty much what's going on right now. A lot of our systemic structures are based on Crowleyan philosophy, but not the Crowleyan philosophy that I feel that he was trying to teach. I feel it's the one that they just hijacked. And if you want to know more, look into Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, I've read some of his stuff. I'm a pretty interesting cat.
Definitely interesting, definitely misunderstood, definitely not for a simpleton. But if you don't want to be a simpleton, just open your mind. Be discreet as well, because someone will see you that just associate bad things.
It's always possible.
Yeah.
Did you know that the sound when you crack your knuckles is a partial collapse of a cavitation bubble in fluid of the joint?
I did. I only figured that out about like recently. And same thing with your back. It's the oxygen, the air just.
Just crack those knuckles right in the microphone.
Oh, I cracked them.
It's a partial collapse of cavitation bubbles in fluid of the joint. Fluid of the joint.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I'm here till Tuesday. I do bar mitzvahs and birthday parties.
Be sure to tip your waitresses.
Yeah.
Let's see. Today's birthdays. Well, yesterday was actually my birthday. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
How young are
This
you?
is my 35th revolution around the sun. Yes.
That's good.
And I just found out yesterday. My dad was telling me like my due date. I guess whenever I was supposed to be born like closer to March 5th, but they like pushed the due date back a couple times, and I was late.
That's
Pretty.
that's Ross's birthday.
What's that?
It's Ross's birthday.
Oh, the 5th.
Yeah.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of my best friend's birthdays
Yeah.
too. Huh. But yeah, yesterday was my birthday, and so just in honor of my birthday, well, yesterday's birthday, as far as celebrities go, Vince Vaughn, Julia Stiles. She was in that movie. I don't remember what it was.
Who's Julia Stiles? I can't.
She was in
think
the
of her
10 Things I
face.
Hate About You, maybe.
Oh, okay, I know who that is.
And Lady Gaga. I didn't realize that I shared birthdays with the Gaga.
She's an interesting person.
She is very intelligent.
Definitely.
Very intelligent. I think she went to NYU for music, and she knows how to market herself. I mean, I'm not crazy about all of her work, but she knows what she's doing. She sells records. Let's see, today's birthdays. How about the 10th president of the United States? You know who that is?
Zachary Taylor.
Close. John Tyler.
Ah.
I think Zachary Taylor was, close to that.
Yeah, I actually lost track of all the presidents in chronology
Yeah, me too.
years
me
ago.
too. 1867, Cy Young,
Cy Young.
which they have a baseball award named after him, like in
Wow.
like the best pitcher or something. I don't know. I don't follow baseball. 1918, Sam Walton.
Sam Walton. No idea who that is.
Oh, come on.
Refresh, re-jog my memory.
Wall what?
Wow.
Fill in the blank. Wall.
Wall Street.
Oh, good guess.
That was a joke.
Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sam Walton is
That's
the.
you learn something new every day. You see, I didn't think I would have learned that, but I did.
And I guess I know that. I give that as one of my assignments in a little, training that I do. Let's see, who else? 1959, remember this band, Perry Farrell of many different bands, as a matter of fact.
I couldn't tell you what bands he played in, but it
Jane's Addiction
Yeah.
is one of them. Porno for Pyros, I think.
Okay.
is another.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with them.
And then
Not too
1968, Lucy Lawless. Xena.
check that out.
Xena Warrior Princess.
Xena Warrior Princess, like
She was kind of like the woman Conan kind of thing.
Xena LaVey.
I wouldn't. I don't know who Zena LeVay is.
If you're watching this, contact me, Zena LeVay.
Zena
I would love to meet
LeVay.
you.
Let's see. And the last thing I have here on the page: 8 life lessons that you should learn today. You know, old people kind of know stuff, like maybe even some of it,
Yeah.
but it'd be good to pick up this knowledge the younger
Like,
you are.
don't drink on an empty stomach, and don't ever fart in a wetsuit.
Why shouldn't you fart in a wetsuit? There's no escaping?
No.
I mean, the
It just-
gases can't go through the... Okay, yeah, blow it up.
It's like, you know how whenever you putting window tint on, you got them bubbles that you gotta get out of there? Same thing.
Well, let's see what they even have on this list. I mean, I pull up these lists, and, you know, some of them
Yeah.
have merit, some of them don't. Live for yourself, you know? So I guess not
Definitely.
living somebody else's dream is essentially what that means.
You
Yeah.
gotta, well,
Follow your own path.
I like to look at my reality as like a waking dream. Everything I do is a meditation, whether I'm driving, writing, working, no matter what, it's all meditative.
Mm-hmm.
But from that point, whenever you stay in a constant state of meditation, you can control your reality from a more of a grounded point. So it's like not just control of it in situational aspects where you can just go left or right. It's the choice. But
For
also
sure.
where you can just kind of sit back and go both of them.
Well, we have more control over our thoughts and our actions than we think we do, you know? Or we have less control over our thoughts and actions than what
What's
we
that
actually
symbol
think
on
we
your
do
shirt?
as well.
I can. Oh, it's a fox. Prince and
Yeah.
Fox. In the
I think it's a
the
fox.
in the reflection, it looks like a Mercury symbol for the planet
Oh.
Mercury.
Planet Mercury.
So that's interesting in some.
I'm just trying to appeal to Fox News, maybe.
Fox News. Where's that Fox check?
How about living in the present moment?
Definitely, that's 100% important
Mm-hmm.
because, well,
Well,
I
you don't
mean,
want to
it's hard
like
to
dwell on the
explain.
past, or
Right.
you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself in the future,
it's kind of like
and you want to appreciate the things you have around you now.
right.
You know, and not, you know, like for instance, hold a grudge to somebody. I mean, like especially like with your friends and family members, because time is limited in this life.
To an extent, time is limited, but I think time itself is the limitation.
Well, sure.
It's
Well,
like,
and time is an illusion.
yeah.
Let's see. Third one they have: take risks and try to exit your comfort zone.
Oh, definitely exit your comfort zone. Sometimes the most rewarding experience is gonna come from
The things that churn
something
your
that
stomach.
you didn't definitely
Right.
churn your stomach. It's sometimes like you learn more from the bad stuff that happens to you than from the good because
Well, and I mean, even doing this TV show, you know, I mean, like when I first started and kind of churned the stomach a little bit, or
I
doing
was a little
stand-up comedy.
because it was like this is a different energy. It's like
Yeah, and it's like talking into that thing, right? You know, but even performing like as a musician or anything, you know, I mean, ultimately, I think we're getting another call here. Let's see who we got.
who that is.
What up? You're on Higher Thought. We only got a couple minutes left. What's going on?
I just wanted to share this. That young man on the side of you right there is a mini me. He thinks just like I do.
Aha!
What's
Well,
your name, good sir?
I'm 60 years old. Do you ever go to friends and spread the word and they tell you to shut up or stop the madness or you scaring me? They tell you that?
All the time, but what's the point of being scared?
Really? Just keep it up, man, because if you don't spread that word, even though it's you're not used to it, you got to keep doing it.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate that,
It
and
never stops, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you just taking your time to share that with me.
yeah, and I think a lot of us feel that way. That like whenever we speak, you know, some very logical thoughts that are backed by research, then you
No
know
one
people
wants to
look
hear
at it as like we're crazy because it's not the prescribed point of view.
I heard this the other day. It's like your first reaction whenever you wake up is to be mad.
I think we got one more call, and we
Huh?
lost him. Caller, you can try and get in
Yeah.
real quick. But we appreciate your call, man. We're gonna go ahead and take this last call.
All right, dude. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Hello, you're live on Higher Thought. What's going on?
What's happening, fellas?
Hey, how you
doing,
doing,
Jose?
man?
Okay, bro, I've been listening to your show. You know, you're going to do what you're going to do until it costs you something. Then you're going to retabulate that and say, what's it going to cost me to go further, right?
Right.
I mean, I live to be 55, 6. My son's going to the college, and man, this guy's held together by monster drinks, caffeine. He's like, I'm going to make it one more test. I'm going to flunk this class, but I'm going to pass these classes. You know, being young, you don't need to be stressed out at a young age unless you're a surgeon. You know, you're going to put somebody back together wrong. But I did have an update for you on the Dogman over here. The werewolf creature, Dogman Island, over by below Morgan City. There's an island called Dogman Island.
Which we've only got about 15 seconds left, just so you know.
Yeah, bro, yeah, but don't go there by yourself. The Fish and Wildlife people say, no, bro, stay away from that.
I'm going to go meet him.
Watch
And I'm
out
gonna
for
get it
those
on
dogs,
video.
huh?
Okay, bro.
Well, hey, we
Good job.
appreciate the call, man.
You, bro.
All right.
That was interesting. It's really just me. And I'm
And
the
goodness
dog man.
gracious. Well, hello? Okay, I think that was our first caller. And I think that was our last caller. But hey, it's been good hanging with y'all. And I think we're already off the air on AOC, but we're still streaming. So it's been a good show. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having
Hey, if
me.
I would have known the life lessons, would have gotten so many calls.
Right.
then I would have started.
We're just going
off
to jump
with
to
that, huh?
those next time, so be
Exactly.
ready at your phone.
Everybody calling in last minute. So, alrighty. Jigga,
That was
appreciate
the
it.
ghost.
Yeah, yeah.